and welcome to week 5 of LIBS 301. This week we will be looking at the step of evaluate. For this week, for required materials to look through, we have the week 5 instructor video, so this video, the evaluating sources, methods and examples article, a evaluation methods video. We have a few of these, so we have one that looks at the CRAP test and one that looks at the SIFT model. We also have a video that is looking at how to write perfect annotations for your annotative bibliography. We have 2 assignments due this week, which is the evaluating sources post and our annotative bibliography. For our supplemental or non-required materials to look through, I have a number of worksheets that you guys can work through. So the CRAP method worksheet, the proven method worksheet, a SIFT method, and then also a video on how to format an annotative bibliography in APA 7th edition. For this week's terms and concepts, first we have authority. So authority is a person or organization who has recognized influence and credibility surrounding a certain topic within a specific set of boundaries. We also have bias. So this is the lens in which we view the world through. This includes past experiences, education, and environmental factors that lead up to or favor a belief of one person, idea, action above one another. So one thing to note about bias is it's not inherently good or bad. It's something that everyone has, and it's just how we view the world. Next, we have annotation, and this is an explanation added to a source that provides the reader with a summary and evaluation of the material. Our bibliography is a list of materials and sources used and referred to during the research process. This includes all sources, whether or not they were used in the final product. And finally, we have our annotated bibliography. So it's adding annotations and bibliographies together. So this is a list of sources that you have found to possibly use within your research paper. Also, it includes a brief summary and analysis of those sources. So for this week's information literacy concept of evaluate. So evaluate is where we critically examine found information for credibility, reliability, and usability. And again, this week's 2 assignments correlate with this step. So here are some different evaluation models to use. First, we have the CRAP evaluation model. So this is one that a lot of people are familiar with, and it is looking at the currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose of a source. So for currency, you're looking at when was it published, is it new, is it up to date, is it current with the information. Relevancy looks at, is this relevant, is it connecting to the world, is it looking at materials that are relevant to what I am wanting to know about. Authority is looking at the author and the publication. Do they have the authority to speak on this subject? Accuracy is looking at if their information is accurate and good. And then finally, the purpose is kind of figuring out, why was this source created? Is it to sell me something? Is it to educate me? Why did they write this? Now the SIFT model kind of looks a little bit different. So for here, we are stopping, we're investigating the source, we're finding better coverage, and we're tracing claims, quotes, and media to the original context. So instead of looking at the source as a whole, we are looking at sources within the source. So as we're reading through the material, when we come to a quotation, a paraphrase, a summary, an in-text citation, we are stopping. We are going to investigate that source that is used within that material. We are going to see, is there better coverage, or is this kind of the best source? And then finally, we're tracing any claims, quotes, and media back to the original content. We aren't taking that source we're reading at face value. We're going to kind of confirm that what they provided information is what that original source was meaning to say. So for our evaluating sources post. So for this, I want you guys to evaluate 2 sources using an evaluation method of your choice. So you can use any of the methods I mentioned, or you can use a different one that you find. I do have optional worksheets available to fill out to help guide you through that process. Now your post will include an APA citation for both of your sources. Each evaluation will look at each of the elements within the method you chose. And then you're going to write a paragraph length evaluation of the source, its credibility, and its usability. Now, I strongly encourage you guys to use this evaluation in your annotated bibliography, as these two assignments build upon one another. So the two sources you use for this assignment, also feel free to use them for your annotated bibliography as well as your evaluation of those sources. Now for your annotated bibliography assignment. So how to create an annotation. So there are three parts of an annotation. We have our summarize step, our assess and evaluate step, and then our reflect step. And you need all three of these steps to create an annotation, and you need all three of these steps to get full points for your annotation. So first we need to summarize, and this is just writing a general overview of the source. So you're asking, what are the main points and arguments being made? Then we are going to assess and evaluate. We're evaluating what we have read and determining the usefulness of the source within our own research. So we're asking, how does this source compare with others? And is this source reliable and unbiased? And finally, we are reflecting. So we're determining if and how this source fits into your own research. So we are asking, how does this help to shape my argument, and how can I use this within my own paper? So make sure you have all three sections. So let's take a little bit closer of a look at an annotation. So here we can see we have our APA citation at the top and then our annotation down below. Now breaking this annotation down. So first we have our summary. So this is a couple of sentences. It's talking about who was in the study, what they did, what they were kind of looking at. Next we have our assessment. So this is saying that both groups showed different results. The study also looked at 300 participants and showed significance through statistical tests, so it provides accurate results. And then finally, we're looking at how this will help my paper. So we're reflecting. So in here, this study is helpful as an introduction to yoga and anxiety, which is applicable to my paper. So again, you need all three parts for full points of your annotations. So for the instructions for the assignment. So I need you guys to write an annotated bibliography consisting of 5 sources. You'll be using the topic you selected in week 1. Remember that 4 of your 5 sources must be from journal articles, and your final source can be from an online source, government fact sheet, or reputable nonprofit organization. Each annotation needs to include a citation and APA formatting, a description of the source, and a critical analysis of the usability of the source for your final essay. Also, please note that your annotated bibliography needs to be in alphabetical order. This assignment is worth 50 points. So 10 points are for the source quality and type of source, 15 points are for the annotation quality and source evaluation, and 25 points are going to be for your citation as well as the reference list formatting. So please note that the annotated bibliography rubric is listed both on the instructions document and within the assignments folder. For this week, what I need you guys to be doing is first watching this instructor video. We have a web page from Scribr, so evaluating sources, the methods and examples. A video from McMaster Libraries, which is looking at the CRAP test. The Vanderbilt Libraries teaching and learning video, which is looking at the SIFT model. We have our YouTube video from the Smart Student, which is writing perfect annotations for your annotated bibliography. For supplemental or non-required materials to look through, we have our worksheet from Benedictine University looking at just kind of evaluating sources in general. Then we have from South Central College Library the CRAP method, one from Rasmussen University of the proven method, an article from Hapgood, which is the SIFT model, and then a video from Smart Student looking at formatting and annotated bibliography in APA 7th edition. 2 assignments are due this week. We have our evaluating sources post, so please evaluate those 2 sources you found within your searches and are considering using for your final essay. Also remember to respond to 2 of your classmates. Initial post is due on Thursday with your response due on Sunday. And then for your annotated bibliography, write an annotated bibliography consisting of those 5 sources in APA style, and that will be due on Thursday. And please note that the sources you use in these assignments, you might come to find out that they just aren't working for your research, and that's perfectly okay. So if you find something that you go, I've looked at it, it's just not quite hitting where I want it to for my research project, you can use it for this assignment, and it's showing that you're finding things that might not work and you're realizing why they won't work. So if you have questions for this week, please feel free to reach out to me. You can always email me or set up a one-on-one meeting, either virtually or in person. And I look forward to looking through your guys' annotated bibliographies this week, what sources you have found. And again, please reach out if you have any questions. Have a great week.